Hey everyone, I'm coming at you today with a really exciting announcement. You may have already heard that the most positive, implementable, content-filled event, the Dental Success Summit, is rapidly approaching. Scheduled for April 12th and 13th at the beautiful La Cantera Resort in San Antonio, Texas. We've gotten off to a great start and our limited seats are going fast, so here's the announcement. In addition to some of the best, most well-regarded speakers in dentistry, we'll be featuring a very special keynote speaker this year. Drum roll, please. Okay, our special keynote speaker for the Dental Success Summit 2024 will be none other than Jocko Willink. Jocko is a retired U.S. Navy SEAL officer, New York Times best-selling author, podcaster, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and a renowned speaker. I've been a fan and follower of Jocko's for years, and I'm honored and excited to be able to share his wisdom and inspiration with all who attend the Dental Success Summit 2024. So if you haven't yet, just go to truedentalsuccess.com to register for the dental event of the year. We've sold out for the last 9 years, so make sure you secure your tickets today. truedentalsuccess.com. Look forward to seeing you on April 11th through 13th, 2024 in San Antonio.
This episode is being brought to you by Large Practice Sales. Large Practice Sales helps doctors of all ages and specialties monetize a part of their practice with a silent partner. How does it work? National groups purchase between 51% to 90% of a practice for cash up front, and the doctor remains an owner leading their practice under their brand, team, and strategy. Doctors benefit from the resources of a larger partner to grow bigger, faster, and more profitably. Contact Large Practice Sales, or LPS, today to confidentially discover your practice's value in an IDSO partnership at no cost without obligation. Just call 844-976-5332. That's 844-976-5332. Or visit largepracticesales.com/dentalpreneur.
The Dentalpreneur Podcast. Okay, doctor, it's time to put down that handpiece. You're listening to the show dedicated to helping dentists get their lives back. It's time to decrease your stress, increase your profitability, and regain your passion. Now introducing your host, Dr. Mark Costas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Dentalpreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Mark Costas. What's up, friends? I hope you are doing great out there today. I have two of my great friends on with me today for Surgical Saturday. So if you guys are listening to this and it's not a Saturday, that's okay. But if you're looking for practice management, leadership, or systemization advice, this is probably not the episode for you. I think that everybody could benefit from listening to our great guests today, Dr. Taher Dhoon and Dr. Dan Briskie, talk about full arch and how to integrate that into your dental practice. But if you're looking strictly for business stuff, this may not be the episode for you. All right, guys. So today specifically, my friends, we're going to be talking about the full arch patient life cycle and how to integrate full arch cases into private practice. So I'll start with you, Dr. Dhoon, since you seem like you are high in energy. You're doing this standing up. I just heard you recording an awesome commercial. I hopped on a little early. So let's start with you since you are ready to go.
Yeah. So last time what we talked about on the previous episode. So if you haven't tuned into that, definitely go back and listen to it. We started from how to kind of market for these cases, what Dr. Briskie and myself do. Myself as an acquisition, who I bought a practice that never had surgery in it, and how I grew surgery in an existing practice. And then the contrast between Dr. Briskie's startup and him intentionally going in and creating a full arch practice and a full surgery practice from day one. The contrast in itself was really cool and illuminating for me to hear his experience and how he did things way different, but did it so successfully also. And then we ended up with the consult room, and the patient has already said yes to the procedure. And now what's the patient's experience, and how do we handle this into our practices also? So what we do is we invite the patient to come and do their scans on that day. We get all the records and things we need. The records and all the prosthetics is a whole nother episode. We're going to talk more about the life cycle of the patient versus the clinical. And also, you can consider this is a veneer case. This is a crown and bridge case. This is a reconstructive case. All of these patients investing $40,000 to $50,000 in your practice all kind of have the same experience, where you get the pre-records, and then sometimes you do a sedation, and then you deliver on the big surgical procedure. And you don't want to ask them for a testimonial video on the reveal, but you still like to record every reveal for the patient. And what I mean by reveal is they've been asleep, you've been working for hours, you have a mirror ready, or Briskie, I like what you do. You cover your mirror and you have the patient pull down the paper from it or something. That's pretty cool. You can do reveals in various ways. And then you have the patient see their smile for the first time after however many years or decades. And if they've been sedated, it's like it feels like 5 seconds have passed, and now they're looking at a whole new person. And you've unwound a lot of baggage and vulnerability and emotional problems that they've dealt with for them. And you want to catch that on camera. Of course, if the patient doesn't feel comfortable with it, don't do it. But vast majority of patients are totally willing to do it. You don't have to ask permission. You just do it. And just tell them, hey, we just like to capture all these moments. It's good for the team, et cetera, et cetera. And then you get to hopefully share in a really beautiful moment with the patient. So that's kind of where I'll leave that part. I'm sure, Briskie, you have way more to add in terms of how you do stuff in your practice. But the reveal is super powerful for me and my team. And we had a team meeting yesterday, and I show that to my team meetings also. And it just revitalizes the team to understand why they work so hard.
So I think it's important to realize that for pretty much all patients, like a good change can be scary also, right? So, patient has a change for them. It's actually a pretty scary thing. So I think for most patients, when they see a reveal or they see after the surgery, they're actually a little bit scared the first time they see it. So I find the first reveal is never really the one that you always video. We try to video it, but usually the best reveal comes a week later or 2 weeks later, is what I find a lot of time, when they're a little bit more healed up and they're not so swollen and they've given a little bit of time to process. Then you'll actually see them come back with their hair done, or they got some lipstick on, or they got like an extra swag to them, or they come into the room and they're giving people like high fives, or making conversation like, whoa, who is this person? This person is way different than the person I just met last time.
I love that. So, if you've gone into Dr. Dhoon's office, this is previous to the new facility, but you had a bunch of before and afters, Dr. Dhoon, and that was kind of the highlight. That's what you decorated your reception area with. How do you utilize those before and after pics? Not just the reveal videos, Dan, but also the before and after pics. Do you put those on your website, or is there like some sort of photo album or?
So I have a bunch of before and afters that I put on these like glass backgrounds. So it looks like super fancy. And I put them outside and into our hallway, so patients will just walk by and they'll actually see it every single time they walk by. Those are cool looking because they're like extremely professional. They have like a glass background and have a perfect before after smile. I think those are pretty cool. I get a lot of compliments on those, like, whoa, did you guys do that? I'm like, yeah, we did do that here. But I put a full range of them. We put some veneer cases on there. We put some all next cases on there. Pretty much everything all around.
Is that something that you guys get permission for in the beginning before the case is taken place, that you will be able to post it? Or do you just kind of wait to see how enthusiastic they are and then ask permission?
I would... First, we see if they will actually allow us to take pictures and videos without giving them a discount. And then if not, then I'll taunt them with Mr. $500 of Benjamins. And I say, hey, I get you $500 off if you sign this form and you let me use your befores and afters. And then pretty much everyone at that point will allow you to use them if you give them a high five with the $500.
I love it. So, I'm just throwing this out there. I don't know if you guys do this, but I've heard of many full arch docs, whether it's cosmetics or it is full arch or something else like that, if they're still dentulated or there's post-care needed, do you guys ever have some sort of a guarantee that is negated if they don't come in for, say, a recall appointment or anything like that? Is there a warranty that you guys offer for your big cases?
Yeah, I want to just touch base on something Dr. Briskie said first, and then I'll touch on warranty. If you're just beginning and you want to do your cases and give a discount, but you don't want to discredit yourself as someone who's brand new doing the case, you can give the patient a discount and say, hey, if you are willing to do these marketing videos, I'll give you a huge discount so you can start doing more cases. And then you're not kind of cutting your feet out from underneath you saying, hey, I'm inexperienced. So that's what I did in the beginning. I was like, hey, if you do these marketing videos, I'll do your case for $15,000 in arch, where it's usually 22 to 25. And then I got my reps and then I raised my fees just when I got confident. And then two, to address the warranty, I talk about this in the consultation. It's there are no warranties when it comes to the human body. It's not a mechanic. What I can tell you is I'm the owner of the practice. I'm the one who does your surgery. I'm the one who's going to make your teeth. We do it all in here. You don't have to go see someone for the surgery and then see another person for your teeth and another person for the maintenance. So I do it all here, and we're really intentional about taking care of our patients. So if you do the things I ask you to do, then I'll always do the right thing for you. And I kind of leave it open-ended like that. But if they're like, hey, what about a guarantee? I'm like, hey, well, you can't guarantee anything in the human body. But what I can promise you is if you do the things I ask you to do, you're less likely to have anything happen. And we have cases here and patients here who've been here for a very long time, and we barely have to give them any type of bad news if they do the stuff that we ask them to do. So I kind of try to go around it.
That's funny. I actually do the same thing. I try to skate around it a little bit because what I don't want to do is promise on the moon and the world when it's just not possible. I can't predict how unpredictable they're going to be, right? Are they going to brush their teeth, or are they going to do the things that they need to do? So what I tell them is I say, it's good. It's good for you that I'm young because I'm going to be around for a while, right? I tell them, I've been doing this for 10 years, but good for you. I'm only 35 and I'm going to be here for a while. And then I just kind of laugh about it. So they enjoy that. And then they usually they drop what I've been saying, and they forget about it.
I like that. I want to circle back to something that you said, Taher, and you were talking about strategies for getting people that have just acquired a new skill set to get reps in their own practice. So discount is one way to do that. Is that kind of your main strategy for getting people to leave Colorado Surgical or any other type of advanced clinical training and get reps right away? Just to say, hey, Mrs. Jones, I'm willing to, you need this procedure. I'm going to be honest with you. I just got training for it, but it's all super fresh in my mind. I'm willing to give you a discount if you allow me to do this procedure on you. Is that about right?
I think you say that really, really well. But just to keep in mind, there's so many different personalities of doctors out there that if you don't think you can pull that line of honesty off, then you can kind of, mask it in I'm giving you a marketing discount to then do your case to get your reps. Because if you go to a course, the most important thing you need to do is you need to get your reps right afterwards. Right. Like I just literally, when we finish up, because we've sold out the February course and the March courses already. So we send a video to all the attendees coming in, telling them this exact same thing is get patients on the books, even if you have to do the case for free. Now, when I say free, I mean for cost. So you break even on it because that's going to tie in the skills. And it's the cost of knowledge, and then getting the reps and getting your team on board with this is going to be huge. And then that's when all the revenue comes is later down the road. So yeah, whatever you got to do, sometimes honesty, like your delivery was perfect, Mark, in terms of just, hey, like this is what you need to say to a patient to be transparent. But there's different things you can say also if you don't feel comfortable using those words.
Hey, Doc, quick question. How's your office doing on Google reviews? Do you struggle to get patients to remember to leave one after they have left the office? I just wanted to share the newest offer from the Dental Success Network, custom NFC cards. Our members are finding that by using these simple cards, they can get patients to leave reviews before they are out of the office. All you have to do is train your team to make a simple request then tap the card on the back of the patient's cell phone. Your Google review page will pop right up and they can take it from there. DSN is now offering custom NFC cards for your office. All you need to do is visit dentalsuccessnetwork.com/NFC. Fill in the info and we'll get your custom card out to you today. Again, just visit dentalsuccessnetwork.com/NFC and get more Google reviews today. This is kind of backstage choreography, but I love to kind of plan ahead for what the team is going to be doing during a reveal or in the post-op appointments. So is there any kind of formal training, or do you guys just talk through, hey, look, in the morning huddle, maybe something like, hey, Mrs. Jones is coming in for, seating these veneers, or we're going to actually put her permanent prosthetic hybrid in today. Make sure everybody comes in and makes a big deal about it. Are you giving her flowers? Like, what is a good way to make it a really special, event for Mrs. Jones from a team perspective?
So what we do, we have radios in our practice. So yes, we covered in huddle. So everyone getting a new set of teeth that are cosmetically like a significant improvement, even if it's like, a 2-week type of check. We radio when they're ready and they're sitting up and they're ready to go. And all the ladies come in, or whoever's free. The team is big enough now where if we have half the office or 75% of the office still working and I can get 7 people in who have like something they can just put down for a moment, they come in, we take a quick video, we dole out some hugs, they tell them how good it all looks, and they just like, and it's genuine and authentic. Like they mean it. I don't tell them to come in and just be robots and have it sound weird. It's like, hey, however you talk to someone and compliment them in that way and have it sound like genuine. And the ladies, like, they love this stuff. They love hugging up on the patients and just showing them love because the patients have been through so much. For one guy, he's like, farmer, old school kind of, guy. I bought him a 30-pack of Bud Light because that was his love language. So we surprised him with some Bud Light. But yeah, it's whatever the patient really wants.
Isn't that everybody's love language though? 30
yeah.
Well, it used to be a 30-pack of Busch Light, but now it's not.
Now it's Bud Light. Yeah.
Now it's a big thing. Now it's a thing of bourbon, right? So we evolved too.
Moving on up.
Do you guys do the same thing on the radios for like a class 2 on tooth number 15? Like, Mrs. Jones, this filling is going to change it. This is beautiful. Everybody comes in with flowers and clapping.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that tertiary anatomy.
Look at that MB2 that Dr. Briskie found on tooth number 3. It's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Nice reveal. Yeah. So go ahead.
We do something similar, but I base it based on letting them know if they have done a reveal or not, and then if they come into the practice and they say something polite or really nice. Then we kind of talk as a team. Like if someone comes in, they're happy. Then we're like, oh, this is the perfect opportunity to grab a video, right? Like they're positive. Maybe they just had an espresso shot, and they're ready to talk very positively about the practice.
I love that.
then we capitalize based on their positive attitude, I'd say.
Yeah.
Whatever they're the most thankful for your work, or when they confess. A lot of patients will do something where they confess to you, and you gotta be like, whoa, hold on a second. Like, let me grab this person to come video this, right? Because that's the moment when you have to do it, because some patients will only say it once. They may not say it twice.
Sure.
Yeah, what I've found is that usually that peak level of happiness is at 2 weeks after the surgery. Because if you wait till they get their finals 3 months later, they're kind of like, they can't see the big transformation occur in their mind. And then whenever, like Briskie said, whenever they're saying something nice, I say, hey, would you say that on camera? Like, that was awesome. Like, that was so heartfelt. Thank you for saying that. Would you mind saying that on camera? And I'd say 9 times out of 10, they say yes. Sometimes they'll say no for various reasons, if they're survivors of domestic violence or they don't want their video out there. But vast majority of patients will 100% say yes to this.
Witness protection, that sort of thing.
Yeah. You got your like old school Uncle Vinny from New York or something.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. I mean, it comes back to regular basic psychology, right? Hedonic adaptation. It's like no matter how badly we needed something or wanting something, when we get it, we adapt to it very quickly as humans. So you start taking things for granted after the 2-week mark, and it's like, oh yeah, my smile's perfect. Anyway, I'm pissed off about something else that you did, doctor. So yeah, you got to hit that window that when emotions are high, for sure. So, coming back to this kind of full life cycle, the reveal feels like it would be the last kind of stage in the full arch, or complete rehab case. But what else comes after that? Like, how are we to ensure that they're going to engage in follow-up appointments, in recall, and not just kind of disappear forever?
One thing I like to do, because when you do the reveal and then you're 2 week, they're still coming in for post-ops. If it's crown and bridge and veneers, they're still coming in for deliveries. So every time they come in, I'm taking pictures and videos, but I'm also taking a video for the designer. So I'm having the patient speak. We're just chatting. We're looking at phonetics. We're looking at lip movement. And it's also a good way to be like, hey, this is for the designer. Hey, designer named, let's say his name is Andrew. Hey, Andrew, let's move the VDO 2 millimeters here. Let's move the midline here. Because the designers don't get to meet the patients. They just see a computer program. So then the video, I think, humanizes it for them. Also, it lets the designer see cosmetically how things are looking and where like there's a cant in the occlusal plane or whatever is occurring. And it's also stacking more marketing material and more pictures, because you can just do screenshots from your video, and they're actually pretty good resolution as well. Just iPhone horizontal. It'll get you like really good resolution, and you can track your patients that way as well. And then when we do the finals, they get their final uppers and lowers. We actually will, bring people in. We'll kind of applaud in the reception area. We'll congratulate them on a ultra marathon, well run. And sometimes we'll have the gift and things ready for them at that point.
What I found is, I just started to do this recently. Patients can really only picture so far out. So when you close their case and they get the surgery done, I feel like they can really only picture what's going to happen when they get the teeth. But then they forgot everything that you said from all your consults before, from what happens from the time that they get their temporary teeth to their final. So what I've always found is on their 2-week post-op, they're like, when am I getting my finals? I'm like, oh my God, I have to go through this conversation again. How many times do I have to repeat myself? So nowadays we do more of I just started to do this, more of a middle procedure review where they got their temporaries. Now we sit them back in the consult room and we go over what happens from now. Because that provides a lot of clarity for them. Like, hey, this is what we're doing from now till you finish as a review, because it'll help prevent a lot of questions that they ask, annoying questions that I don't want to get. Right. Like my front staff doesn't want to get, my assistant doesn't want to get every single time. So that way I can tell them, hey, we just had a consult about this. Like what questions you have for me from there. Right. Like, so I don't want to keep repeating myself every single visit. That gets very exhausting. So we're just starting to do this type of consult now. So more of like a middle procedure review, I call it.
Yeah.
I love that. I just wrote that down. That was cool.
That is.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Briskie. Also, to add to that, this morning we recorded what to expect and post-op videos. So I did that for root canals. I did it for crowns. I did it for fillings. I did it for full arch. And so if a patient has accepted treatment, we send them via text the what to expect video. And then after post-operatively, they get the you just did it, congratulations. Here's what to expect videos and when to call us and so on and so forth. So we haven't applied that yet. We're literally in editing for it. But another thing to help reduce the same conversations happening over and over again. Because, repeating yourself gets tiring sometimes, and your team starts to roll their eyes when you start to say it because they've heard it 1,000 times. So it's nice to provide that information for your patients, and it makes you look super polished as well. Like, hey, I do this all the time. I already got a video for you.
How do you distribute that? Like, is that a QR code that you hand them a card and they hit it on their phone? Do you email that to them? Do you text it to them? How do they consume that video?
Yeah, I was thinking about kind of everything besides the card. I like the card idea, but it was going to just be a link via a text message and an email. And we'll tell them when they're here. When they're here, I pass out a care to share card. So I think we got this from Rasner and mixed it with some other people, but it's like the send someone you care about to someone you trust type of thing. And there's like a little referral gift card we give to people who refer. But after every procedure or anytime someone has a procedure done, I'll do my whole thing. I sit down, cross my leg, talk about like, hey, if you need us, we're here. And I pull the card out of my pocket. I handwrite my cell phone number on it and I hand it to him. I say, hey, text or call me. I'm asleep at 10. I'm awake at 4. Day or night, I'm here for you. But then my cell phone number is written on my care to share card. And so I'm they keep it. They refer people. Our referrals went up since doing it that way. Mm-hmm. And it's a nice little touch for the patients to show them like, hey, I'm handwriting it for you versus it's printed on the card.
I like it.
Yeah. And Mark, to answer your question too, you send it through Flex because Flex, you can upload videos for post-ops. So you send a Flex video post-op. You're welcome, dude.
Once again,
he's writing it down. I'm writing it down.
So, dude, I was going to do the same thing. I tried to do this with who you filmed that with today, to do it in the beginning when I opened the startup. But the idea is to get all post-ops on Flex text messages, but put all videos on YouTube, right? So then you get a YouTube status and your own Google page once you hit 100 subscribers, right? That's the goal for it. So you send out post-op videos on Flex, but then you put the link on the YouTube, right? And then that way, every time you get a view, you get a YouTube view.
And remember, if you have 100 subscribers, so just ask your friends, post it on DSN if you're part of the family there. If people subscribe to your page, then you don't have the whole YouTube /123749. You have a YouTube /Greeley Dental Care. You get a custom URL that's a little bit more polished when you have 100 subscribers.
Love it. Well, great job, guys. You guys want to share what's new or coming up soon for Colorado Surgical Institute?
Yeah, 24 is going to be a crazy year because we're already having to push people into the end of the year for courses. So we're sold out for our February course. We might have 1 or 2 more spots for wisdom teeth at the March course. We're going to concurrently run our IV sedation courses at February and March, which is going to be cool because if you come for single implants, you get to learn a little bit of IV sedation just via osmosis of being in the room. And vice versa, if you're there for IV sedation, you get a little bit of the education for the surgical stuff. Mm-hmm. And so that's February, March. We got full arch in June with block grafts and sinus grafts and some single implants. And the cool thing about the facility is now we have so much space here that we've capped it at 10 operatories running at any one time just to keep the quality of the courses really high versus our smaller 6-op practice we were running these things out of before. So I think 24 is like the best is yet to come. The courses are refined. We're adding more content all the time. And we're in our new facilities. We have all the space in the world. So I'm pumped.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. As always, you brought the rain. Really, really good information. I appreciate it. Can't wait to see you guys in upcoming events at CSI. And until then, we will talk to you later.
Oh, thank you, man.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Dan Briskie and Dr. Taher Dhoon. Hey, Doc, are you overwhelmed, sick of being the bottleneck, not sure where to jump in and tackle projects? The idea of having an assistant may seem like a luxury and something you don't need. However, as practicing clinicians, business owners, husbands, wives, moms, and dads, you may be holding yourself, your business, and even your family back by not delegating day-to-day tasks and maximizing your valuable time. If you guys have heard our podcast and webinars before, you know I hired a personal assistant 8 years ago and haven't looked back. I hired Ashley Evans at the time, now Ashley Hirschfeld, and we were able to execute, prioritize, and launch projects and businesses that have led to multiple streams of income and invaluable peace of mind. Ashley has now founded GSD Queen, where she is helping busy entrepreneurs and business owners find the right personal, virtual, or executive assistant to help you get the momentum you need to reach your goals. With Ashley's assistant program, you get one-on-one consultation with her to create your perfect personal or executive assistant avatar and ad. Execution of placing ads. Review of resumes. Skill and personality testing to narrow down to 2 to 3 candidates. Guidance in maximizing in-person reviews. After selection and hire, the assistant will receive 4 weeks of GSD Queen Bootcamp, where they will learn the tips and tricks to being an efficient and forward-thinking assistant. Reach out to Ashley directly at 928-910-3599 for more details and more information. If you happen to be a DSN member, reach out to Ashley inside Workplace to get a $250 discount. 928-910-3599. Reach out to Ashley and get ready for a life-changing experience. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to listen to today's podcast. As you know, the fundamentals of a good business are universal. A solid flow of new customers, systemization, human resources, and cash flow. That's exactly what I cover in my first book, Pillars of Dental Success. If you'd like a free downloadable copy and other valuable practice building resources, just go to dentalsuccessnetwork.com/pillars. That's dentalsuccessnetwork.com/pillars. We'll see you at the next episode. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dentalpreneur podcast. Look forward to reconnecting on the next episode.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the Dentalpreneur podcast. Check out TrueDentalSuccess.com for full recaps of every show, a schedule of our live events, free video tutorials, and a whole host of practice building resources.